talking about, Jake?
I've worked in the private sector. They expect results.
Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
All right, welcome to it, the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. The Listen Live link is in the top right corner. We're also streaming on YouTube. The channel is simply Nation of Jake. Run it all together. We're also on Facebook, and we're on the Twitter at Nation of Jake. So a lot of ways for you to hop on board on this Wednesday, June 19th, year of our Lord 2019. Mostly cloudy, 89 degrees. That's the high. Chance of rain a bit later this afternoon and tonight, or not. I never know. I look on the Apple app, which I don't suggest relying on, but I did see a tweet from my elementary school classmate John Bryant of Local 24. He says that a complex of storms is coming in tonight. Todd Demers, our friends over at Channel 3, they're our weather partner. They confirm, yes, some storms later this afternoon and into this evening. So stay safe out there. Make sure the drainage ditches aren't clogged up. You don't want any flooding like they had in Germantown earlier this month. What do we have today? Plenty. So much going on. Steve Cohen from right here in Memphis, representing Tennessee's 9th District. He's leading a House panel on reparations today. And I hope he has enough sense to leave the KFC in the fridge for these hearings. That would not be appropriate, Steve Cohen. I've already seen some clips. We'll get into that in a little bit. Also, there's a great article on the Hollywood Reporter. This is a question I've been asking myself for a while. My buddy Dave Berge and I have been going back and forth about comedy and what has happened to comedy, not just late night comedy getting so political and so one-sided, or SNL being so one-sided, but also what happened to the comedy, the film, the movie, just the one-off comedies. They're a dying breed. They're not making as much money, and Hollywood is not making comedies anymore. We'll get into that. Also, Frank Colvett Jr. from the Memphis City Council will recap the business of City Hall. Yesterday was a City Council Tuesday. Those guys work hard. 2 days a month. They go and they hammer out the future plans of the great Bluff City. We'll get caught up on the latest headlines. A big headline today. And it turns out the Grizzlies made a big trade. Mike Conley Jr. is no longer a Memphis Grizzly. He is headed to Utah. He will be a member of the Jazz. We'll talk about the big trade. That's the last of the core four. And you think about the core four Grizzlies, those great playoff runs from about 2008 to 2017 or so. Oh, they're all gone. They're all dusted like Thanos just snapped. Boom. I mean, it didn't happen just like that. I mean, G-Man said that earlier. Just like that, the core four is gone. I was like, well, it wasn't like just like that. 2 of them left, and then Mark got traded. It was more like, it was like 4 snaps over 2 years. It wasn't just like that. However, we wish Mike Conley Jr. the best of luck out there in the Salt Lake City playing for the Utah Jazz. We'll talk about what the Grizz got back in return in that trade during the news cruise. That's when we'll do it on next hour. First up, the Trump re-election campaign launch in Orlando. Now, this was all over the TV last night. Clips all over Twitter. And Donald Trump, sure, technically relaunched his campaign last night in Orlando. But the guy has not stopped campaigning since he won in 2016. And you take you back to 2016, nobody expected him to win. The kind of campaign he ran was nothing like we had ever seen before. Nobody expected him to win, and he won. At one point, I saw the percentages, the chances with Donald Trump running against Hillary Clinton, and it was Hillary Clinton with a 97% chance of winning, and she did not. So, last night in Orlando, Donald Trump, now they were talking about the crowd. They were talking about the expected crowds at this Trump campaign relaunch for 2020. And they were throwing around numbers like 20,000 people in Amway Arena there in Orlando and 100,000 people outside. They said 120,000 people requested tickets to this Trump campaign relaunch or re-election campaign launch. 120,000 people, just to put that in perspective, that is way more than Queen played in front of at Live Aid. At Live Aid at Wembley Stadium in London, 72,000 people. Now just visualize that crowd, how big the crowd was. Then you think about 120,000 people. Hell, the Live Aid in Philadelphia, that was 100,000 people. So just get a visual of how many people that is. And then add 20,000. And there you have how many tickets were requested for the Trump re-election campaign launch. Now, that many people weren't there. All right, there was about 18,000 inside Amway Arena in Orlando. I think it rained, so the overflow crowd outside, they weren't going to hang out for it. That said, thinking that anybody's going to draw 120,000 people to a campaign launch is silly. The crowd last night at Amway Arena, Amway Center, whatever they call it, it was pretty big. I mean, 20,000 people is nothing to sneeze at. It was a lot more than what Joe Biden had at his launch of his campaign. But it's got a nice little write-up in the Associated Press, kind of setting the scene here. Jabbing at the press and poking the eye of the political establishment he ran against in 2016, President Donald Trump officially kicked off his re-election campaign Tuesday with a grievance-filled Florida rally that focused more on settling scores than laying out his agenda for a second term. Addressing a crowd of thousands at Orlando's Amway Center, Trump complained he had been under assault from the very first day of his presidency by a fake news media and illegal witch hunt that had tried to keep him and his supporters down. And he painted a disturbing picture of what life would look like if he loses in 2020, accusing his critics of un-American conduct and telling the crowd that Democrats want to destroy you and they want to destroy our country as we know it. All right, so some familiar lines that you heard from Donald Trump last night. Hell, go with what works. He says, a vote for any Democrat in 2020 is a vote for the rise of radical socialism and the destruction of the American dream. He said, ripping radical and unhinged Democrats, even as he made only passing mention of any of the men and women running to replace him. So he didn't get into specifics. He just said, these Democrats, they all want to take away all your money and raise your taxes. A boisterous crowd of thousands, many in red hats, began gathering outside the arena on Monday and spent Tuesday braving downpours and listening to a cover band as part of 45 Fest, the campaign organized to energize the crowd. Trump has been the best president we've ever had, said Ron Freitas, a retired merchant marine and registered Democrat from Orlando. Trump spoke fondly of his 2016 run, calling it a defining moment in American history, and said that in the years since, he had fundamentally upended Washington, staring down a corrupt and broken political establishment and restoring a government of, for, and by the people. He's the rugged political outsider, is Donald Trump. He wants to run as that, once again, drain the swamp. All of those different slogans will likely return for 2020. However, we're going to see Donald Trump try to pull a Ronald Reagan. Remember Ronald Reagan in 1984, when he was reelected, he ran on Morning in America, everything's fine. Donald Trump in 2016 ran on Make America Great Again. And that was something that was said by Donald Trump. It was said by Bill Clinton. It was said by Ronald Reagan. Make America Great Again has been around for a long time. Roger Stone actually, I think, used that when he was working with Nixon. He also worked on the Reagan campaign. And everybody wants to say, well, when was America ever great? Or America was never not great. And they want to pick it apart. But it's been something that's been used by half a dozen presidential candidates, even in recent years. Make America Great Again. Will Donald Trump keep that slogan or will it change it? I think he may pull the Morning in America and go with Keep America Great. That was one of the things that he suggested. And we're going to get to some sound clips here in just a few minutes. And they've also got a fact check. But, I mean, you look at it, this guy not only drew 20,000 plus people to a rally in the pouring rain in Orlando, he also raked in $24 million in 24 hours. In the first 24 hours of his re-election launch, he raised almost $25 million. That is more than all the Democrat candidates raised in their first 24 hours combined. So, look, the polls have Donald Trump trailing guys like Joe Biden and guys like Bernie Sanders. But do we trust the polls? That's a good question. So, I've got some clips from the rally. We've got some poll numbers, and we got some fundraising numbers. I'd love to know what you think. You want to go to the Facebook page, you can do that, Nation of Jake on Facebook, or get at me on Twitter. Do we trust the polls, or do we trust the fundraising? We're kind of in this brave new world of politics and media and social media. It's going to be interesting to see. But I do have the audio clips. I mean, I've got the most bizarre moments. I've got Donald Trump Jr. ripping Joe Biden about saying that he's going to cure cancer. And then moments later, Donald Trump talks about how he wants to cure cancer. So there's a lot to it today on the program. We'll get into those sound clips and more next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs. There's little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now, I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
KWAM, The Voice, salutes our seniors all month long. Baby boomers are hitting retirement with vitality and vigor that's redefining how senior communities are designed and healthcare is administered. Estimates show that by 2050, there'll be 83.7 million people 65 and older. On average, seniors are the most affluent demographic in America, with seniors having 5 times the net worth of the average American. Today's seniors are redefining aging. They'll play games remotely with their grandkids or read the news on their iPads. In America, seniors use more internet than any other age group. KWAM salutes our seniors. Brought to you by
Momentum Community Care Services, 875 West Poplar Avenue, Suite 23 in Collierville. Appella, specialized foster care and in-home personal care. To learn more, visit appella.org.
Live your later years like you're on a fabulous vacation at the Robinwood Retirement Community Bartlett. If you are over 55, come and find out about an all-inclusive resort-style living. Month-to-month rent, meals, paid utilities, free cable, phone, and internet are included. Free dining, weekly housekeeping, and fitness center are just a few of the amenities offered. Elegant floor plans include full kitchens. Robinwood is the perfect choice for your luxury retirement living. Call 901-381-8949 to find the perfect place for you.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lynn Doyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floral arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lynn Doyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
At Amish Excellence, they specialize in custom-crafted solid hardwood furniture. Their furniture is made in the USA by Amish craftsmen with deeply held beliefs in integrity of workmanship and concern for lasting beauty, built to last for generations. They'll love working with you in choosing the perfect design to create your unique furniture. Amish Excellence, 3601 South Houston Levee Road. Exquisite furniture, reasonably priced, remarkably superb, and uniquely yours.
Miracles are happening in genetic testing and disease screening. As they say, knowledge is power, and Momentum Community Care offers you a chance to get early detection of cancers you may be genetically inclined to, and help develop a preventative treatment plan if needed. It's called CGX and PGX screening. The best news is that it's fully covered by Original Medicare Part B and most insurances. Call Jason Abbott at Momentum Community Care now for more information at 901-218-4425. Brown Properties. They specialize in commercial and industrial real estate in all of North Mississippi.
He helped me locate a space and helped me get in so easily. The most professional, most accommodating person that I have ever worked with in my professional career.
I would absolutely recommend Jim Brown very highly. As a matter of fact, he'll be my real estate agent from now into the future for sure.
Hi, I'm Jim Brown with Brown Properties, commercial industrial real estate, located in South Haven, Mississippi. Call me at 662-393-2255.
Since 1927, Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab has been invested in the health and happiness of each individual who enters their doors. They serve people and families of all faiths with compassion, dignity, and commitment. Named one of U.S. News & World Report's best nursing homes for 2017-2018. Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab was also named the #1 nursing home in the Mid-South by the Memphis Business Journal in 2019. Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab is located in a 77-acre park-like setting in Cordova. You can find out more on their website at memphisjewishhome.org.
Welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
And the Nation of Jake is on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com, streaming live on Facebook. Check that. YouTube. Check that. YouTube. That's where we're streaming live. The video, you can check it out. The channel is Nation of Jake there on YouTube, but I'm always monitoring Facebook for comments and some hate mail. You can send it on Facebook or on Twitter at Nation of Jake. All right, this Trump rally last night, I'm still amazed by how many people will go out like a day in advance. They said people started lining up Monday morning for a Tuesday night rally in Orlando. I guess they were partying up. They had bands. They had food. They got grilling out. And it was just a big old Donald Trump party. Now, I've never really paid as much attention to politics, like in this stage, to know if there have been any other presidents who had campaigns like this, where people would go out and party for 2 days in advance of a presidential relaunch or re-election bid. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to all the Obama rallies or the Bill Clinton stuff. I don't know if these guys were selling out arenas. I'm almost certain there were some big crowds, especially when President Obama got the nomination. There was a lot of excitement. I mean, I do remember it being a big deal, but to this degree, I mean, these are like big old rock shows. All right, Donald Trump being this rock star politician, and that's kind of where we are now with the celebrity politician. The Obama candidacy was like that. The Obama campaign was very Hollywood. You know, somebody I remember was talking about Barack Obama as a young senator from Illinois, and they described him. They said, he's a star. Guy's a total rock star. And that's almost how we view politicians now. I don't think it's the best thing in the world. But Donald Trump is probably at his best at these rallies with his, as good as he can be, with regards to getting people to pay attention to him, getting an environment where, he's got universal support for a lot of his ideas. They do get fact-checked. And we've got the fact check coming up. It's more beneficial for Donald Trump to have some of these rallies than to do interviews with George Stephanopoulos. I mean, that's kind of the point I'm making with regards to the Trump rallies, okay? So the videos I've got here, it's just an assortment of videos. I haven't watched them yet. We'll get into them together, and we'll take a listen to some of the stuff that Donald Trump was saying last night in Orlando.
We're going to keep on fighting for every man and woman and child all across this land. With every ounce of heart and might and sweat and soul, we're going to keep making America great again. And then we will indeed keep America great. We will keep it so great. Better than ever before. We're going to keep it better than ever before. And that is why tonight I stand before you to officially launch my campaign for a second term as President of the United States.
There you have it. It's official. He will seek a second term. I'm not sure anybody thought any different. I didn't see Donald Trump saying, you know what, one term's good. Let's get somebody else in here like Nikki Haley who can take over and be the nominee for the Republican candidacy, Republican nomination. It's goofy to think Donald Trump wouldn't, just kind of ride high on what he's been doing. We've got this is called the most bizarre moments here from The Independent. They have picked out the most bizarre moments. I haven't heard any of these, but we'll see if they're bizarre or if they're on brand for Donald Trump.
I want to make clear to the media, we have among the cleanest and sharpest, crystal clean, you've heard me say it, I went crystal clean, air and water anywhere on earth.
Sharpest. Cleanest and clearest and sharpest. Sharp water, I guess.
We have about 3 or 4 empty seats. The fake news will say headlines. He didn't fill up the arena,
There you go, attacking the media.
We will push onward with new medical frontiers. We will come up with the cures to many, many problems, to many, many diseases, including cancer and others. And we're getting closer all the time.
All right, well, just before that, not long before that, as a crowd warm-up, Donald Trump Jr. was there mocking Joe Biden for having said he was going to cure cancer. Check this out.
I'm going to cure cancer. Wow. Why the hell didn't you do that over the last 50 years, Joe?
There you go. And then Donald Trump comes out and says, well, we're going to cure cancer. And people can say, oh, that's hypocritical. Oh, that's goofy. Well, I guess Donald Trump Jr.'s main point was that, hey, Joe Biden, you've been there for 50 years and you didn't have cancer on the list? I mean, you're just now getting around to cancer, and that Donald Trump has not been in government for 50 years. And therefore he's like, no, Joe, we got this. We got the cancer. I'm just going to say this. It's goofy for a president to go out and promise they're going to cure cancer. Presidents don't cure cancer. All right, doctors, scientists, researchers, those guys come up with effective treatments and hopefully cures for awful diseases. Presidents, I don't think, should ever promise to cure any diseases or take credit for having done so, because the president can't do that. He can't. He can allocate more funds. They can make it a priority to give resources to doctors and scientists so they can do more cancer research and whatnot. They can cut back on regulations that keep them from doing so, but they can't do it themselves, and they should not be taking credit for it. It's all pretty goofy when you get down to it. These are grown people, all right, and they're out there talking about eradicating diseases, like specific, like cancer, the worst disease you can get. And they're making it a campaign promise for 2020. On with the most bizarre moments.
We will eradicate AIDS in America once and for all, and we're very close. We will lay the foundation for landing American astronauts on the surface of Mars.
Okay. He's on the Mars thing again. Why are we sending people to Mars? I'm not down with sending people to Mars. There's no point. It's goofy.
So the wall is moving along. It's moving along rapidly. It's beautiful. I changed the design. It's stronger, bigger, better, and cheaper.
Yeah, he changed the design, guys. Donald Trump changed it. Yeah, I went in. I looked at the blueprints and I said, "Oh, this wall's all wrong. You've got to do it this way." Yeah, he had the time to go in. He got his structural engineering degree, I'm sure. Yeah, listen, he's a builder. So I guess, look, Donald Trump is a politician at this point. All right, and he's fast and loose with the facts. He goes up and he just says whatever this crowd, this adoring crowd, is going to react to. And he could get up there and say anything, and he's proven it. He's getting up there saying anything, and they love him. All right, and listen, I was in a band. I know how that is. You got a live crowd who's into your band. You think you are world beaters. You think you're the Rolling Stones in 1973. You think you are Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock. If a crowd is into what you're saying, if a crowd is into what you're doing, and that's why Donald Trump goes and does these things. It's for his ego, and yeah, it's great for things like fundraising. $25 million in the 24 hours since announcing that he is running for re-election. Something that we knew was going to happen. Pretty amazing. Well, the AP has decided to fact check Donald Trump. And listen, the fact checks, sometimes they are accurate. Sometimes they are opinions. Sometimes it's true, but, or this needs context. Now, Donald Trump made some claims last night, and we heard some of them in the audio clips, but it's been fact-checked by the AP. On the economy, Trump says it's soaring to new incredible heights, perhaps the greatest economy we've had in the history of our country. The facts are the economy is not one of the best in the country's history. It's very good, but not one of the best. In the late 90s, growth topped 4% for 4 straight years, a level that has not been reached on an annual basis under Trump or under Obama or under George W. Bush. Growth even reached 7.2% in 1984 under Ronald Reagan. Trump has a legitimate claim to a good economy, but it's not a record breaker, and it flows from an expansion that began in mid-2009. Now that is suspect. When did the economy start taking off? Well, who's to credit for boosting it? I still think Donald Trump can take a lot of credit for making people, making investors, making consumers more confident. That he said he was going to come in, he was going to lower taxes, he was going to repeal regulations in order to unleash the private sector. Just saying that, just being the guy in charge, saying that those are the things you're going to do, that had an effect. So I think Donald Trump can take credit for where the economy is, but he can't sit there and say it's the best ever because we have numbers that contradict that. On the wall, he says we're going to have 400 miles of wall built by the end of next year. It's moving very rapidly. Well, there's a lot of roadblocks, and there's a lot of court cases and rulings that have to be resolved before this thing really gets going. You're talking about 400 miles of wall. That's a lot of wall. That's a lot of wall. All right, so it's a lot of that wall is also replacement wall, I think. So, they're just kind of giving you context there. On taxes, Trump says we've done so much with the biggest tax cut in history. His tax cuts are nowhere near the biggest in U.S. history. In fact, President Ronald Reagan's 1981 cut is the biggest ever, and that was coming off of, what was it, 70% rate, 90% rate under Jimmy Carter. So Ronald Reagan was able to cut more because taxes were so insanely high in 1981, right? And then in second was the 1945 rollback of taxes that financed World War II. By the way, both led to booming economies. Both of those tax cuts. If you look at the period after World War II and then the period after Reagan's first term, booming economies after those tax cuts. Massive growth. 7.2% GDP growth under Reagan. Trump says our air and water are the cleanest they've ever been by far. They say it's not true about air quality, and they go into how many days of air pollution there were. You can look at, since the Paris Accords, since Donald Trump decided to pull out of the Paris Accords, the United States is actually down on carbon emissions, like 15% or something like that. Donald Trump goes out there, and again, a lot of it's bluster. A lot of it is playing fast and loose. He's playing to a crowd. He's trying to go for applause lines here. You really shouldn't take any of this stuff with any kind of take it to the bank mentality. Take it with a grain of salt. There's probably a little bit of truth in what he's saying, but what he's saying, he's embellishing. He's exaggerating. He's playing up to this crowd, this adoring crowd of 20,000 people in an arena. So that's kind of it. Like, you're going to see all this, why the Trump rally is dangerous. Why Donald Trump's supporters, this happened. There was a fight. There were racists. The Proud Boys were out there. You know what? I watched a bunch of videos. I saw anti-Trump people and Trump people getting along. It was more like a party. What should be more concerning is treating politicians like they're rock stars. I don't get it. I'm never going to wait a day and a half out in the rain, outside an arena, or even a half day, or even 2 hours to go see any politician speak. Ever. Just doesn't interest me in the least, and I'll never do it. All right, coming up, I read this article, and it was almost like my mind was being read by this article before it was written, if that makes any sense. Last night, I was watching an Adam Sandler movie on Netflix, thinking to myself, why don't these movies, these comedies, go in the theaters anymore? Why isn't Hollywood making big comedies anymore? And then boom, in my email box from the Hollywood Reporter was an article on just that. We'll get into why Hollywood has turned its back on comedy. We'll do it next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News Update. The House is holding a hearing today on slavery reparations, the first such hearing in more than a decade, asking whether the federal government should compensate descendants of slaves. Texas Democrat Sheila Jackson Lee.
What the bill says is that this is a study to consider a national apology, which has been done, and a proposal for reparations for the institution of slavery.
Yes.
The institution of slavery has never gone away. It exists.
A reparations bill likely would face tough opposition in the Senate. Louisiana Republican John Kennedy.
I don't think any person, black or white, is responsible for what someone else, black or white, did 150 years ago. And I think most Americans feel the same way I do.
Writer Coleman Hughes drew a chorus of boos when he suggested black Americans don't need another apology, but do need better schools, safer neighborhoods, and better health care. CBS News Update. I'm Jim Chenevey.
Since 1927, Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab has been invested in the health and happiness of each individual who enters their doors. They serve people and families of all faiths with compassion, dignity, and commitment. Named one of U.S. News & World Report's best nursing homes for 2017-2018. Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab was also named the #1 nursing home in the Mid-South by the Memphis Business Journal in 2019. Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab is located in a 77-acre park-like setting in Cordova. You can find out more on their website at memphisjewishhome.org.
Live your later years like you're on a fabulous vacation at the Robinwood Retirement Community Bartlett. If you are over 55, come and find out about an all-inclusive resort-style living. Month-to-month rent, meals, paid utilities, free cable, phone, and internet are included. Freedom dining, weekly housekeeping, and fitness center are just a few of the amenities offered. Elegant floor plans include full kitchens. Robinwood is the perfect choice for your luxury retirement living. Call 901-381-8949 to find the perfect place for you.
For baby boomers, here's something to think about. Will you have enough income during your retirement? Are you absolutely sure? Do you understand the difference between growth and income? How about bonds and bond funds? Are you 100% ready for RMDs? Do you have an estate plan? If you've said no to any of these, we can help. Right now, log on to theretirementincomeDoctor.com and tune in our brand new radio show right here, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m.
This is Clark Howard with a special warning for you. Scams move around, and there's a new alert from the Federal Trade Commission that the Social Security scams have totally eclipsed the ones where people pretend to be from the IRS. Why are these hot right now? Because they're working. The amount of money being stolen from people by fake Social Security impersonators up by 500% in just a couple of months. The way it works is you get a phone call typically that says that the caller ID is from Social Security Administration. And it doesn't matter if you're a recipient or not, they are trying to get your Social Security number out of you for many different reasons that they'll use. And people are coughing them up, and then the criminals are using that to engage in identity theft or to try to get to your bank account. Know that if you get a call pretending to be from Social Security, just like the IRS, hang up.
Have you heard about Newsmax TV? It's America's fastest growing cable news channel in 70 million homes. Every minute, every day. Watch Newsmax for breaking news on President Trump. Plus, get insights from Bill O'Reilly, Alan Dershowitz, Pat Buchanan, Mike Reagan, and more. You can find Newsmax TV on DirecTV, Xfinity, Dish, Optimum, Spectrum, Fios, Uverse, Suddenlink, WOW, and dozens of cable systems. So check your guide now and watch Newsmax TV. Real news for real people.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I don't want to spend my Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner. But thankfully, there's HomeAdvisor. HomeAdvisor helps me find the best home pros in my area to handle any kind of project. You can read reviews of the pros, check their availability, and even book appointments online. And what my wife loves most is that HomeAdvisor is completely free to use.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app to get started.
HomeAdvisor.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990, KWAMTheVoice.com. Also streaming live on YouTube. That's right, YouTube channel Nation of Jake, Facebook and Twitter as well, at Nation of Jake. All right, last night I turned on the latest Adam Sandler Netflix film. It's called Murder Mystery. Jennifer Aniston is in it. So Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston back together again, I guess for the first time since Just Go With It. Now, this is a film that, I don't know, some years ago, you probably would have seen in the theater. Adam Sandler, he's made some really good movies. He's made some really bad movies. I'll always defend Adam Sandler, though, and here's why. The guy is funny. He's funny sitting in a chair. And watch his stand-up special on Netflix. You will be reminded of how funny Adam Sandler is. Not was, but is. I remember I got the first Adam Sandler CD back when you actually listen to comedy CDs. It's called What the Hell Happened to Me. Hilarious. We used to sit around, put it on in somebody's car after school, and listen to it, and it was laugh out loud, stomach hurts funny. All right, and he still is funny. Now, Adam Sandler, he's done a lot of questionable films. I don't know, he did Billy Madison, then Happy Gilmore, and he did The Waterboy, and all those movies. The Wedding Singer was kind of like the big breakthrough for Adam Sandler. It was something like the romantic comedy that should have been the template for the romantic comedy, was The Wedding Singer. And he started doing all this garbage. He started doing like Little Nicky, and then Jack and Jill, Don't Mess with the Zohan. And everybody was kind of like, oh my God, this guy's terrible. Critics would rip him apart. And I was kind of on board too with ripping Adam Sandler. I'm like, oh, this guy's not funny anymore. Oh, he sucks. But then I thought about it. What does Adam Sandler care about what critics think? The guy's hilarious. He's friends with everybody in Hollywood. Everybody in Hollywood knows the guy's hilarious. And then it got to the point where whatever movie he made, he knew critics were going to rip it anyway because it was Adam Sandler. So he's like, I'll just do what I want. I'll do whatever I want. He did a movie called The Cobbler in 2015, which was a weird, different, funny, kind of dark movie. Method Man was in it with him. And it got destroyed by critics. Absolutely destroyed. I watched it. I liked it. I thought it was different. I thought it was fun. And I'd watch it again. I'd recommend you watch it. It's on Netflix, The Cobbler. And that's where you can find a lot of Adam Sandler stuff now is on Netflix. Because he cut this big deal with Netflix, $30-40 million, to make like 4 movies to be exclusively on Netflix. Well, now they're saying that Netflix might be to blame for the decline of comedy at the box office. Well, I think it's the opposite. But The Hollywood Reporter has this article that kind of outlines everything. The decline of comedy at the box office, is Netflix really to blame? Well, They go in, they talk about all these comedies that have come out recently. One with Mindy Kaling, that's her name. One with Mindy Kaling from The Office called Late Night. It was acquired by Amazon Studios for $13 million, and it probably made less than that. I guess after a week it fizzled when it went into a full release, earning $5.1 million. So that did not make money. Also, they're talking about The Hustle. I guess that was with Seth Rogen. There's all these, The Upside with Kevin Hart. I mean, none of these movies have done as well as all those comedies, like all the Jim Carrey movies from way back. Like from Ace Ventura and The Cable Guy and Liar Liar and all those movies that Jim Carrey did. They were all blockbusters, right? And they were just comedies. Will Ferrell movies too. All blockbusters. All comedies. The early Adam Sandler stuff. Big Daddy and those movies are pretty big. But I was watching last night saying, where are these movies? And I guess they're there. They're just not doing very well. It says here, Will Ferrell is having trouble getting movies made. Will Ferrell, like king of comedy, one of the hottest names. SNL alum Will Ferrell is having trouble getting movies made. Maybe Will Ferrell needs to get one of those Netflix deals like Adam Sandler. Now, they're calling Netflix a factor in the decline of comedy at the box office. And then they cite the Adam Sandler deal. Even though the movies on Netflix that Adam Sandler does are hit or miss, the first one he did was called The Ridiculous Six, and it was awful. Check this out, though. Viewers on Netflix spent more than 500 million hours watching Adam Sandler's movies. Now, that's according to Netflix. 500 million hours. It's pretty simple, all right? I will be disappointed if I go to the movies and spend $12 for one ticket to see a bad Adam Sandler movie. I'm not mad that the Adam Sandler movie was bad. I've come to expect that. I'm mad that I paid $12 for one ticket to see that movie and that it was bad. And who buys one ticket? You got to buy two. So it's $24. You have to pay money for your kids to be babysat. So that's $10, $12 an hour. You have to buy food. It's dinner and a movie, right? So it becomes expensive. For $12, you can get 1 month of Netflix. It's a way better deal. I'll spend 90 minutes watching a movie that's not particularly good, or maybe it's just forgettable. Maybe it's just okay. But I didn't spend a fortune to watch it. And also, I can turn it off if I don't like it. Right in the middle of it and not feel bad. Like, I just paid $12. I'm at the movies. This movie's not that good. I'm going to get up and walk out. You feel bad. You're like, I didn't get my money's worth. You know, walking out in the middle of a movie, nobody wants to do that. But on Netflix, you can just turn it off or fall asleep or just do something else. Get on your phone. So, I mean, I think it's kind of one feeds the other. They say that the comedies, $2.5 billion in 2009. Comedies at the box office, with 6 making more than $100 million domestically. But by 2015, comedy grosses were down to $1.4 billion. Last year, comedies only earned $1 billion. So it's just been going down and down and down and down and down. And I think it's also kind of the absence of the Jim Carrey and of the Will Ferrell. Who are the next guys? And you also have to look at people have all kinds of options now. People can get on their phones and watch a YouTube channel like Nation of Jake on YouTube. I watched a 20-minute video of a guy in the jungle building an underground house with a swimming pool using just a machete and a stick. I mean, that's time that I maybe would have spent watching a movie. But I don't have to go to the movies anymore. It's too expensive. I used to go to the movies every weekend. It became a thing. When I was in grade school, what movie am I going to go see this weekend? Movies were everything. And it only cost like $7 to go to the movies. And I'll go see 2 back to back. You know, but now it's more expensive. It's more inconvenient. And the quality's not there. When it used to be, movies were good. And it's proven here, man. You get a new comedy out, you're like, whatever. Nah, I saw it and forgot about it. Movies are coming out on streaming and services real fast. Remember back in the day, you go see a movie, it was like a year before it came out on video. And then when it came out on video, it was like the biggest deal in the world. You go to Blockbuster, like, hey, is Teen Wolf in? And they're like, oh, no, it won't be in for months. Or whatever. Whatever film was the big blockbuster. It came out on video, 6 to 8 months later. Now it's like 30 days later. I saw that Captain Marvel is out on DVD. That movie came out in March. So March, April, May, June, 4 months. Sometimes they come out even sooner. And they'll be on the streaming, like Disney's going to have it all on streaming right there. So why even go? Why even go to the movies anymore? And also, hell, all the big movies now are all the Marvel movies, right? Speaking of those, they got to be a big franchise. It's got to be a remake. It's got to be Men in Black International. It's got to be Aladdin. It's got to be The Lion King. New ideas are not rewarded in Hollywood anymore. And that's why you're seeing alternate channels for them to be available to people. So I just thought it was interesting because I was saying that to myself. Just last night, I was watching Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston on screen. They work really well together. And I was like, why isn't this like a big movie? Why isn't this something that was promoted a couple of months out, see a trailer, and then go out on a date night? It would be like a date movie. But it's just not happening anymore. Things are changing. They absolutely are. Coming up, we've got a real-life Iron Man suit. Yeah, the video is on my Facebook page. Go to Nation of Jake on Facebook and check it out. Yeah, a real-life Iron Man suit that flies. The only thing it doesn't have is the arc reactor that shoots out at people. We'll get into that next right here in the Nation of Jake.
Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
KWAM, The Voice, salutes our Mid-South seniors and a life well lived. Tune in to the Earl Farrell for Memphis show every Monday at 4 p.m. as we hear the inspiring stories from local seniors. We'll hear from Jake Shore, who at 78 still goes to work every day and heads up an annual Thanksgiving and Christmas Feed the Needy. We'll talk with Glenda Mace, who just turned 80 and leads a weekly yoga class for seniors, plus is a founder of Cloud9 Theater Company. And we'll talk with Leo Raymer, who is an active 91-year-old that when he was 66 sailed around the world by himself. Inspiring stories from the Mid-South seniors, Mondays at 4 all month long right here on The Voice, KWAM.
Lightwave Solar is the trusted source for solar energy systems in the Mid-South. Lightwave Solar is hosting a commercial solar workshop at the South Haven Chamber of Commerce on Friday, June 28th at 10 a.m. Mississippi business owners are encouraged to attend to learn more about the costs and benefits of solar energy for their buildings. See how solar works with a tour of the solar equipment installed at the South Haven Chamber. Register at lightwavesolar.com.
Renew, refresh, and rejuvenate in Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses. After surgery or a hospital stay, you want to get back to your normal lifestyle. If you can't recover at home, Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses provide the transitional care you need to heal mind, body, and spirit. Experienced staff offer physical therapy, speech, and occupational therapy. Enjoy private suites, chef-prepared meals, therapy garden, and more. Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses, personalized care in a home environment. For more information, call 901-386-3211.
Meriton provides services for seniors focused on making them feel independent and improving their quality of life, whether that's through work opportunities or being able to age in their own home. Meriton offers programs such as in-home care, including meal prep, household chores, home health with skilled nursing and therapy services, and employment for low-income seniors through job training and a paid part-time placement program. Call them today at 901-766-0600. Meriton, well-being, independence, quality, and compassion.
Live your later years like you're on a fabulous vacation at the Robinwood Retirement Community Bartlett. If you are over 55, come and find out about an all-inclusive resort-style living. Month-to-month rent, meals, paid utilities, free cable, phone, and internet are included. Freedom dining, weekly housekeeping, and fitness center are just a few of the amenities offered. Elegant floor plans include full kitchens. Robinwood is the perfect choice for your luxury retirement living. Call 901-381-8949 to find the perfect place for you.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990, streaming live on YouTube and Nation of Jake, the channel there. Hey, on the Facebook page, I have posted a video of the guy from Mythbusters, Adam Savage from Mythbusters. Adam Savage is the guy who doesn't look like a walrus from Mythbusters. Just to recap, on Mythbusters, there's a guy who looks like a walrus, and then there's Adam Savage. And Adam Savage is the one who doesn't look like a walrus from Mythbusters, okay? And he's on there on this video, and he has built an Iron Man suit. All right, leave it to these guys. They've got the best jobs in the world. I mean, they're fully funded, and they can go out and make whatever they want with expensive machinery and expensive materials. These guys haven't made, and I'm sure they've worked to get to that point. That said, this is just unfair, what this guy gets to do. Check out, this is Adam Savage.
I swear, if Tony Stark was not fictional and he was making an Iron Man suit right now, this is precisely how he would do it, and this is the exact technology he'd be using.
All right, so Adam Savage gets together with a jetpack guy, and this jetpack guy is from England, I believe. He has a jetpack that's also got like these jet engines on the arms. It's a little bit bigger and clunkier than what you see in the Iron Man films, but it works. He's flying around 15 feet in the air with these like jet engines on his arms and one on his back. And so Adam Savage just calls up the guys from Marvel and it's like, hey, we need some files to get some measurements so we can 3D print from titanium an Iron Man suit. And they do that. They make it all workable. Like, Adam Savage runs out of here. He's in an Iron Man suit with this jetpack on. And then they don't just have like the guy who invented the jetpack, who's a professional jetpacker. What they do is they get Adam Savage gets to put on this Iron Man suit, and then he gets to learn how to fly around with the jetpack. It's probably one of the coolest things in the world. And also they go on in this video and they interview all the guys working on it. And these are people who could be working on very important projects. These are folks who are rocket scientists. And they're talking about, oh yeah, we printed out this Iron Man suit. I mean, there's jacking around for a web video or for this TV show, Savage Builds, that Adam Savage does. Again, Adam Savage, the Mythbuster who doesn't look like a walrus. I believe his name was Jamie, the walrus one. 3D printer and titanium. It's also bulletproof, by the way. And they take one of those high-speed videos of shooting it, and they show that a bullet just bounces right off the armor. Such a cool video. It's over at the Facebook page. Just go find Nation of Jake on Facebook. Our friend Steve Cohen is leading a House panel on reparations. We've got some audio from that scene. We'll talk about it next right here in the Nation of Jake.
CBS News at the top of every hour. Serving Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas. The latest news stories are here. This is KWAM Memphis.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Real news, real reporting.
I'm Jim Sheneby. The question of reparations for slavery back on Capitol Hill today for the first time in more than a decade as the House Judiciary Subcommittee debates the controversial proposal. Texas Democrat Sheila Jackson Lee.
Reparations and the idea of this commission should be welcomed by all Americans.
CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
Just because there's a hearing being held today, and that alone is notable, doesn't guarantee that the issue will get a vote in the full House. And that Republican opposition signals that the issue is likely dead, at least for now, in the Senate.
The Federal Reserve's Policymaking Open Market Committee wrapped up 2 days of meetings today by letting interest rates remain unchanged. But Chairman Jerome Powell says the Fed remains mindful of economic conditions and is ready to move on rates if needed.
In the weeks since our last meeting, the cross currents have reemerged. Growth indicators from around the world have disappointed on net, raising concerns about the strength of the global economy. Apparent progress on trade turned to greater uncertainty, and our contacts in business and agriculture report heightened concerns over trade developments.
The Fed's benchmark rate, which influences consumer and business loans, has been in a range of 2.25% to 2.5% since December. EPA is fulfilling another Trump campaign promise, backing away from the Obama-era Clean Power Plan, which attempted to wean the U.S. off coal-fired electricity generation. Correspondent Bill Rayco.
The White House is replacing the Clean Power Plan with a less ambitious one that would give states more discretion in regulating coal-fired power plants, which have been closing at near record numbers in recent years. The chief of the EPA, Andrew Wheeler, says the new rule is a sign that fossil fuels will be an important part of the mix in the U.S. energy supply.
Liberal states are expected to mount legal challenges to the EPA move. Hero pilot Sully Sullenberg, who piloted his crippled U.S. Airways jet to a safe landing in New York's Hudson River in 2009, was on Capitol Hill today testifying about those recent crashes of Boeing 737 MAX jets and the need for specialized pilot training in how to deal with sudden loss of flight control systems due to software glitches.
These two recent crashes happened in foreign countries. But if we do not address all the important issues and factors, they can and will happen here.
Sullenberger recommended that pilots go through similar scenarios in simulators over and over and over again so they're familiar with what to do when such glitches happen. The two MAX jet crashes in Indonesia and Ethiopia killed 346 people. On Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 77, the Nasdaq up 16, and the S&P has added 8 points. This is CBS News.
Would you risk your career or your life to go up against a big company if they were doing something wrong? Meet people who did. Whistleblower on CBS Friday.
You probably want to eat healthy, but getting enough organic fruits and vegetables into your diet every day is not only time-consuming, it's expensive. That's why at Texas Superfood, we've created a blend of the best USDA organic, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables, powerful enzymes and probiotics, and energizing herbs, all in a convenient capsule or powder. We call it Texas Superfood Complete Organic. Hi, I'm naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, and I invented Texas Superfood almost 20 years ago with one goal in mind: to help people like you who lead busy lives get the all-natural nutrition that every one of us needs and deserves. So if you can't, won't, or don't eat all your organic fruits and vegetables every day, Texas Superfood Complete Organic makes eating healthy easy. See our full line of quality nutritional products at TexasSuperfood.com or call us at 855-TEXAS-55. That's 855-TEXAS-55. TexasSuperfood.com.
A piece of art history is sold at auction in Paris. Deborah Rodriguez reports.
A private collector has paid the equivalent of more than $181,000 for the revolver Vincent van Gogh is believed to have used to shoot himself in 1890. It was found by a farmer in 1965 in a field in a village north of Paris. Tests showed it had been in the ground for 75 years. Van Gogh had borrowed the 7mm Le Faucheux from the owner of an inn where he was staying. He died 36 hours after he staggered back to the auberge in the dark. The family that owns the inn put it up for sale. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
How would you like to live without a clock? Residents of an Arctic Norwegian island where there are 69 days of constant light in the summer say they want to go time-free, no time zone, no fixed clock. They believe that would free up schedules, allowing them to float school and work schedules, business hours. They petitioned the government. Jim Chenevey, CBS News.
Here's a special message for those of you who owe the IRS at least $10,000 or more in back taxes. The IRS has special programs in place that could eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. With a call to National Tax Helpline, you can stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. Once you've qualified and enrolled, the IRS will stop all the collection activities against you. These unique programs have been allocated to help the economy and significantly reduce or eliminate your tax burden. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, call now for free information and to see if you qualify. Take down the number now for the Tax Helpline, 800-805-1055. That's 800-805-1055 for free information. 800-805-1055. That's 800-805-1055.
Jake's my boy.
That's a real shame when folks be throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that.
Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990. We're online, KWAMTheVoice.com, streaming live on the YouTube channel. Just go look up Nation of Jake on YouTube, and there I'll be on this, still, June 19th, 2019. We're going to talk to Frank Colvett of the Memphis City Council in just a little bit about the council meeting yesterday. I know that Police Director Mike Rawlings was there. He addressed the council about the incident last week in which U.S. Marshals shot and killed a suspect named Brandon Weber. We'll talk about that. Also, what's going on with Elvis Presley Enterprises? More controversy in the expansion of Graceland. We'll get into all that and more with Frank Colvett Jr. Also, we've got the news cruise. All the latest headlines, including the big trade. Memphis Grizzlies sent Mike Conley Jr. over to Utah. He's going to play for the Jazz. What are the Grizzlies getting back for it? Was it a good deal? I don't know. I'm not a sportsman, but we'll go over it in the news cruise. And then also I've got a choice for Earl Farrell. When he gets here, he's going to have to make a choice between shark or squirrel. Shark or squirrel. Just keep that in mind when Earl gets here. Squirrel, Earl, any similarity there? We'll see what he picks. And that's what we'll talk about later in the program. Today, I saw that Steve Cohen of Tennessee's 9th District, right here in Memphis, the Democrat Steve Cohen, is the chair of this House panel on reparations. Yeah, this is his re-election campaign, pretty much. Now, all Steve Cohen has to do is preside over a hearing on reparations in the House. It'll get on TV. It'll get on the news. It'll be on Twitter videos. And he can just go say when he goes to get reelected, hey, I chaired the House panel on reparations, guys. I tried. This is literally all he has to do with his style of politicking, which is pandering, pretty much. He's perfect for it, actually. And when you're talking about reparations, if you want someone to chair a panel on an unserious issue, Steve Cohen is your guy. Maybe he has enough sense to leave the KFC bucket at home. Leave it in your fridge. Don't be pulling out that KFC bucket, Steve Cohen, at a reparations hearing. That would be a bad idea. All right. Now, I don't want to downplay the effects of slavery, a stain on our republic. Anytime you take away someone's freedom, it's awful. The worst thing in the world. What's so difficult about reparations, though, and there's actually a hearing on Capitol Hill about reparations going on as we speak. The problem with it is, number one, there are a lot more white people fighting against slavery than there were white people who owned slaves. When you want to put the numbers together, slavery affected a lot of people, but it was perpetrated by very few people. There were very few slave owners. Only the very rich, the elites, the politicians, of the time, they're the ones who owned slaves. I mean, there were more poor white people running around back then than there were rich plantation owners. All right, so how do you do that? How do you pay back all these people whose lives were affected and their family trees affected by it? I mean, how do you collectively pay back a collective of people for the actions of a few? I mean, it's just, there's no good way to do it. There's no good way to do it. And also, what's it going to do? Hey, we're all square now? We made reparations. We're all square now. I mean, who gets the reparations? Well, there were black people who were never slaves. I mean, today living, there are zero. I mean, I don't think that anybody who was ever a slave is still living today, and anybody who owns slaves is still living today. I mean, that's kind of the main argument by guys like Mitch McConnell. I mean, how do you do it? What about people who came to this country after the Emancipation Proclamation? Significant number of people who came in after. It's like, hey, I wasn't involved in that at all. Like I was not related to slave owners, nor was I a slave. I didn't get here until 1890. My family immigrated. There's so many questions. No good way to do it. And also, will it help? Will it help? You're going to see a lot of videos today. You're going to see a lot of videos from guys like Steve Cohen, who is the chair on this hearing on reparations. You're going to see a lot of videos from a guy named Ta-Nehisi Coates, who wrote an article on the case for reparations back in 2014. And here we are 5 years later. This is a campaign issue for Democrats for the 2020 election. You're going to see a lot of videos from people. Now, here's a video that you may or may not see. This is from a guy named Burgess Owens. All right, Burgess Owens was a safety in the NFL, played for the Jets, played for the Raiders, I believe. Real good ball player, got drafted in like 73, so he played in the 70s into the 80s. Now, this guy has written books. This guy is a commentator. I guess he's been on Fox News. He has a message for Steve Cohen, and he testified today in the reparations hearings. We'll take a listen to a little bit of what Burgess Owens has to say. By the way, Burgess Owens is a black man, just so you know. Here's what he had to say at the hearing today.
Hurricane blows. Mr. Owens, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm going to take a different tack from beginning. We are at this point, this is not about black and white, rich or poor, blue collar, white collar. We're fighting for the heart and soul of our nation. We have a very, very special country that started with the Judeo-Christian values that allowed every single generation to become better than the last. And that has not ended, that has not stopped until now. We're telling our kids a little bit something different, that they don't have the opportunities that we had. I'm going to talk about some ideologies. And when I talk about them, I'm not talking about people. People change. I used to be a Democrat until I did my history and found out the misery that party brought to my race.
All right, so he's going all in on Democrats bringing misery to his race. All right, now this is a guy who was right in front of Steve Cohen, who is chairing this panel on reparations. And this is a guy who, he doesn't share the same ideology or ideas on reparations as a guy like, say, Ta-Nehisi Coates, who wrote the article on the case for reparations. He goes on.
1982 began Tuskegee University. By 1905, it was producing more self-made black millionaires than Harvard, Yale, and Princeton combined. The 40s, 50s, and 60s, it was a black community that led our country in the growth of the middle class, led our country in terms of men committed to marriage, over 70%, now it's 30%. Led our country in terms of the committed to business ownership, 40%, now it's 3.8%. Men matriculated from college. We now have a higher percentage of men incarcerated in college. It is, by the way, my degree was biology. And that, I learned a long time ago that slavery is not a gene in the DNA helix.
All right, so what he's essentially saying is, hey, this whole thing with reparations, it's just going back to all the bad policies in the 60s and 70s to where it took black men with college degrees down from, 60% to 3%, or whatever he was saying. There's more guys in jail now who are black that have college degrees. There are fewer families. I guess it was 70% of black men were married, and now it's 3% or 30%. He threw out some numbers there. Essentially, what it sounds like to me is Burgess Owens is saying, stop helping. Stop helping us. Every time you guys try to help us, you screw it up. That's his argument. That's the argument for against reparations from Burgess Owens. Just stop helping because you're not doing any good. And so there are a few guys on the panel, like Burgess Owens, who was a football player, and now they're getting ripped on Twitter right now. Check it out. Whenever a black guy goes in front of Congress and says something like, "Oh, I'm a Republican. I used to be a Democrat, but I've read about Democrat policies and how they've actually done more harm than good. Please stop helping us." They get ripped by people on Twitter calling them Uncle Toms. The best is this. "Oh, Burgess Owens, stay in your lane. You're a football player. What do you know about history? Stay in your lane. You don't know anything about history. Oh, let's bring up the guy from Lethal Weapon." Yeah, because Danny Glover's there too. Now, Danny Glover, he shares the ideas of Ta-Nehisi Coates, and he's for reparations. Therefore, it's fine. I mean, he's an actor, sure, but he's also an activist. And he's got a voice like anybody else. Except Burgess Owens, football player, stay in your lane. It's all over Twitter right now. Because I looked up that video, and a lot of the reactions to it, it's ugly stuff. It's ugly stuff. We only like the people with whom we agree. And we'll discredit anybody for any reason if we disagree with them instead of just listening to their arguments. Because Burgess Owens, what he just said, essentially, Steve Cohen, stop helping us. You've done nothing but harm under the guise of helping us. Oh, what do you know? You're a football player. Oh, let's get Danny Glover over here. Oh, no, you can't have those opinions. You can't have those opinions because of the color of your skin. That's essentially what Burgess Owens is being met with. So when you see the videos of Danny Glover and Ta-Nehisi Coates, make sure you also go look at the videos of Burgess Owens and this other kid, Hughes. He's from a magazine, and he's also against reparations, and he's got his own reasons. So go check that on out. I'll be over here. I'm done with the whole reparations thing. There's just no good way to do it. There is no good way in 2019 to divvy up what's here and then hand it over and say, "Oh, we're sorry. Well, we've made public apologies about slavery was awful." I don't know one person who says, "You know what would be good if we had slaves." No, nobody thinks that way. If they do, they number in the tens. We're talking about a infinitesimal number of people who are that racist. All right, 40 people in one of the biggest white supremacist groups, was it? 40 people. It's amazing, like what our elected leaders are taking the time with at the federal level. At the local level, we got the Memphis City Council to deal with. They had a meeting yesterday, and we are going to catch up with Frank Colvette Jr., friend of the program. We'll catch up with Frank next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs. There's little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now, I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3939. 3934. That's 751-3934. Or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
KWAM, The Voice, salutes our seniors all month long. Baby boomers are hitting retirement with vitality and vigor that's redefining how senior communities are designed and health care is administered. Estimates show that by 2050, there'll be 83.7 million people 65 and older. On average, seniors are the most affluent demographic in America, with seniors having 5 times the net worth of the average American. Today's seniors are redefining aging. They'll play games remotely with their grandkids or read the news on their iPads. In America, seniors use more internet than any other age group. KWAM salutes our seniors. Brought to you by
Meriton. They're improving well-being and promote independence throughout life stages. Call them today at 901-766-0600. ATC Fitness, with locations all over the Mid-South. Find the one nearest you at atcfitness.com.
Do you like choices? Do you like being part of the design? How about being involved in picking the type of wood, stain, and customizing the size of your furniture too? Well, you can do all that and more at Amish Excellence. They have the highest value in furniture that is reasonably priced and handcrafted by the Amish. Imagine dining room tables, chairs, bar stools, hutches, chests, end tables, and more. Amish Excellence's showroom is located at 3601 South Houston Levee Road, Suite 106.
Meriton provides services for seniors focused on making them feel independent and improving their quality of life, whether that's through work opportunities or being able to age in their own home. Meriton offers programs such as in-home care, including meal prep, household chores, home health with skilled nursing and therapy services, and employment for low-income seniors through job training and a paid part-time placement program. Call them today at 901-766-0600. Meriton, well-being, independence, quality, and compassion. Miracles are happening in genetic testing and disease screening. As they say, knowledge is power, and Momentum Community Care offers you a chance to get early detection of cancers you may be genetically inclined to, and help develop a preventative treatment plan if needed. It's called CGX and PGX screening. The best news is that it's fully covered by Original Medicare Part B and most insurances. Call Jason Abbott at Momentum Community Care now for more information at 901-218-4425.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube, the channel, very easy to find, Nation of Jake. Run it all together there on YouTube, and I'll pop right up. Subscribe to the channel, tell your friends to do the same. Also on Facebook and Twitter, at Nation of Jake. All right, so while Steve Cohen is chairing a panel on reparations in D.C., we've got other fish to fry here in the city of Memphis. Local politics is way better than national politics. I always like to have my friend Frank Colvett Jr. from the Memphis City Council to keep us apprised of what's going on at City Hall. Frank Colvett Jr., welcome back to the Nation of Jake, my man.
Always good to be with you and to be the official councilman of the Nation of Jake.
That's right. That's right. Our liaison, our inside man at City Hall. Frank Colvett Jr., how long were you there yesterday?
I got there around about lunchtime with the committees, and I think we broke up about 6 p.m.
Oh, wow. So that was just a walk in the park yesterday. Usually you guys are working late nights. You know, I guess you're past the budget, so these late night meetings aren't the norm this time of year, huh?
They're not, but a couple of really important pieces that I think the nation really would be interested in. You know, we passed another $1 million towards police overtime and additional body armor for our officers. So there was, you know, as always, there's meat and potatoes to the agenda, but it yesterday had a real significance given all that's been going on, especially in Fraser.
Right. I mean, you guys got a visit from Police Director Rawlings, who probably appreciates that overtime. They were on level 3 for the past few days in the aftermath of the incident with the U.S. Marshals up in Fraser last Wednesday. What did you take away from what Director Rawlings had to say to the council?
That our police are doing, I think we all agree, they're doing an amazing job in incredibly difficult situations. I mean, to have those sort of projectiles constantly thrown at them, and to handle that situation as professionally as they did while multiple officers are getting injured. It reinforced for me personally not only the danger of the job they do, but how important it is. You know, everybody comes to the council needing money. You know, this group needs money, that group needs money. But when it comes to public safety and our officers and our first responders, our firemen, you know, I wish we had $10 billion to give them, because one thing I'm finding in my takeaway is when Director Rawlings comes to us needing funds for something, he's not joking around. He's not inflating it. He's not playing.
Right. I mean, they should get put at the top of the stack. I mean, you look at a city like Memphis, where it's had a crime problem for some time. You know, if Director Rawlings comes to you and he needs to address the council, I mean, you guys all put down the phones and you listen to the man. And as you should, and I agree with you, Frank, the restraint shown by MPD in the face of an angry riot, you know, people in Fraser, for whatever reason, they got upset about the shooting by U.S. Marshals of Brandon Weber. I mean, I'm not going to judge them for being angry or being frustrated, but when you take up arms against the police, and then, Frank, I don't know, I read in the CA today, in the commercial appeal, they wanted to bring up that riot gear and protection from a rock and bottle throwing crowd, that might escalate the situation. I don't like the idea of saying, oh, police should just go out there in their standard uniforms and confront people who are angry and dangerous and rioting, and not escalate the situation and just maybe take a brick in the head with no helmet on. I mean, to me, it's like the one thing that we need to make sure that MPD has is protection from aggression.
And you and I are in lockstep agreement on that, and I think the nation is in lockstep agreement. And I disagree. You know, from what I have learned from the police in this situation, you know, we're always going to improve our processes. And you know, in the heat of these things, remember, Jake, this was the first time in 21 years that the police department has had to use tear gas to disperse a crowd. So it's not like they do this all the time. So if they feel that the threat is there and the need is there, and from the words I heard from the police officers, there was an undercurrent of frustration and anger growing in that crowd. And to send our police officers in and tell them, no, don't bring riots, that's ludicrous. So at the end of the day, their professionalism, I think, shined through. And at the end of the day, they're the thin blue line. They're what protects us from anarchy. And I understand the folks' frustration, the people's frustration, but at the same time, the police need the tools to do their job. And you got to remember, on a level 3, everybody's getting overtime. Everybody has to, and something else I didn't know, the police have to wear their bulletproof vests pretty much 24/7 on a level 3, everybody. So when we go to that kind of a level and that kind of an overtime, the threat is very, very real. And I can't brag on them enough in the sense that what they did in the situation they had to confront and the methods they used, I think, are going to be proven over time to be spot on.
Oh, the restraint has been fantastic. I mean, you just look at it, it would be very simple for one of those guys to get real frustrated with getting rocks or bottles or concrete thrown at you, getting spit on, whatever it is, and put somebody in their place, say with a club or with a stick, or beat somebody up. I mean, you know, that's...
It's been several decades since Kent State, you know, and I'm sure a lot of our younger listeners have no idea, but that's when the National Guard actually opened fire on protesting college kids. All it takes is one person to lose their cool, and the whole situation becomes totally violent, completely out of control. So I think it's a testimony to the solid police force we have, but it also points to the need that we need to continue funding the police department recruiting efforts, bringing new officers on. You know, we're about 2,100 officers, which is still below what we want, but it's still 200 more than we had when we took office. So I think things are going in the right direction. Obviously not as fast as everybody wants, nor as fast as I want, but things are, for all that we do for the police, I think it's going in the right direction, but needs to continue improving.
All right, Frank Colvett Jr., Memphis City Council in the Nation of Jake. What's going on with Graceland?
Oh, how do you and I cover this in only 30 seconds?
All right, take a minute 30. You're good.
Oh, good man. Okay. Well, at the point, and this is my remarks yesterday, I said, look, as a parent and you have two children, you don't look upon one better or see or show any favoritism towards one over the other. And I think Memphis City Council should not show favoritism to EPE or the Grizzlies one over the other. And the situation we have is EPE has shown in the way things have been going that they're changing the plans up on us. They're not being completely clear about new building, a specific new building, a mystery building that might host concert-type events that would cause us to be in violation of our agreement with the Grizzlies. So we were careful yesterday not to approve the Elvis Presley Enterprises deal so that there was no chance that we could harm our contract with the Grizzlies. We're not going to favor one over the other. We want them both to succeed.
All right, and just to simply put this, the Memphis city of Memphis has a contract with the Grizzlies to where you will not help fund or incentivize any other concert venues that seat more than, say, 5,000 people, because the first right of refusal to those shows go to the Grizzlies. But
the FedEx Forum.
The FedEx Forum, right? That's what I mean. The venue, and the Grizzlies own and operate the FedEx Forum as much as whatever. I think we're pretty clear on it. FedEx Forum has first right of refusal on those shows, so the city of Memphis can't help fund or incentivize any other venues being built that would be in competition with the FedEx Forum. All right, I guess the operating words there to me could be first right of refusal. I mean, can't those two work together on what shows would be appropriate for Graceland versus what shows would be appropriate for the Forum? We've got this band that's going to come in and perform. Hey, FedEx Forum, what do you think? And then they get together and they work it out. I mean, getting the heavy hand of government in the middle of it, I don't think that's the most productive way to do it.
Well, and I agree, but let's throw a couple of important points. I will not be the councilman that inadvertently did something that would kill our deal with the Grizzlies and they could potentially move. That's not going to happen. Part two, the reason the Grizzlies had the first right of refusal is, amongst many things, this is hearsay, but I think it makes sense. They sell suites, of course, and part of the package to the folks and the companies they sell the suites to are the concert opportunities.
Okay.
So it adds to their ability to sell those suites and get the funds that way. But also, you have to remember another important piece. Mr. Wineshaker, he appears to be a nice enough fellow, when you speak to him personally, but he's made some pretty tough statements, some pretty harsh statements about Memphis, about the council. But also, on top of that, you have a situation where they're bringing all this to us right before the council meeting starts. So the lawyers had not had a chance to look at it. We had not had a real chance to vet this latest EPE proposal, and then we're being just asked to vote on it. And so you go back to my very first comment, which is I'm not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize the Grizzlies. I want them both to succeed. I think we all agree we want Whitehaven, Elvis Presley, and the Grizzlies. We want them all to succeed. There's a universe where they, in fact, do. But I think Chairman Conrad put it most succinctly yesterday when he said, no more games. Don't try to keep playing us for the fool. You give us a firm proposal. You tell us what you're not going to do. We make the penalties in case you do break it. And stop playing games.
Well, you have to have any plan has to be vetted. And you guys have to have the time and the resources to do your due diligence to make sure you're not in violation with the deal with FedEx Forum. So you're just saying that they're just trying to slide it in and get it done, and without going through the increased scrutiny that it would need.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do deals that are that big, would you not want to know going in as much as you could possibly know, and at least have the chance where your lawyers turn around and give you the thumbs up?
Yeah.
You're in good shape.
Yeah, you would want to get
a contract.
Yeah,
once lawyers looked at it.
You got to get a lawyer's eyeballs on something like that. All right, so we've gone over MPD, we've gone over Elvis Presley Enterprises and that whole deal. What else do we need to know from yesterday's council meeting, or just in general, what's going on with the city here, Frank?
Well, two important things. The Memphis 3.0 is we've had yet another meeting on that. Councilman Boyd, who had been slightly critical, I had a ton of questions. I think they got answered. So It's a 3-reading ordinance. So we've got 3 more meetings on 3.0, and you and I'll talk about that. But the biggest other takeaway, Councilman Boyd changed it. Remember we had a plastic bag tax that was coming?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember. I do not like plastic bag taxes.
Well, then you're going to be happy that's off the table.
Completely off the table, just like that.
Yes, sir. The state legislature has spoken on that issue, so a plastic bag tax is off the table. But what he is proposing, which will be on first reading in 2 weeks, again, that's a 3-meeting ordinance, is a fine. He wants to eliminate plastic bags and fine, for example, grocery stores $50 per occurrence if they use them. So I'm looking forward to a robust conversation on that because I don't have the ins and outs and haven't gotten the feedback yet, but it's an interesting play on the same question.
$50 fine to a grocer who uses plastic bags.
Yes, sir.
Each instance, each bag, $50 per bag? Because I can do an easy 10, 15 bag run to the grocery store.
I do not know again, we have not begun vetting it yet.
How about, I know that you're tight with Berlin Boyd, and I've asked Berlin to come on this program, maybe tell some your mama jokes, maybe hang out, talk about his motorcycles, talk about Memphis stuff. But can you please tell Berlin that an incentive program is the way to go? All right, an incentive program. Incentivize the good people of Memphis to use reusable bags instead of punishing them for using the plastic bags. It'll work, man. I'm telling you. People respond to incentives.
Funny you would say that because Councilman Conrad was talking, and I think he was in the airport. Now, he was in Colorado or Texas. He went to go get a sandwich, and they said, "Would you like a plastic bag?" And he said, "Sure, why not?" And they said, "Well, it's going to be an extra 9 cents." And he turned around and said, "I don't need a plastic bag that bad, even for 9 cents." I think there are ways to incentivize, and again, I look forward to the conversation. It is a true fact that those plastic bags are clogging up our systems, and it's costing us, at least $1 billion a year to clean our systems out because of these bags. So something has to be done, but I think we're so early in this new question that you and I are going to talk about it a few more times.
I don't know, man. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, for honor roll, I would get tickets to the Chicks games back in the day, and that was always a nice little incentive to do good on your homework, you know? So for me, it's just like incentives work better than a fine. Because here's what people are going to do. They're just going to do their shopping somewhere else. It's just going to hurt businesses in the city of Memphis if you fine the grocers $50 every time they use plastic bags in lieu of the reusable stuff. So I mean, for me, it's just goofy. It's whatever. Tell Berlin, incentivize, incentive, not punitive, please. Just pass it along.
I think you may be on to something because again, honey, you can attract more flies with honey than
yes. It's simple. I mean, you get it. Just tell him that. Just tell him just like that. Don't even tell him I said it because he doesn't like anything I say. I invite him on the program. He's like, no, not doing that. He's a grouch.
Well, he has very strong opinions. There's
yeah. So do I. That's why we got to get together. But that said, you're not his go-between. You're not his agent. Hey, Frank, we will talk to you next week, if not before. All right, my man.
I look forward to it.
All right, there you go, Frank Colvett Jr., Memphis City Council. Don't confuse him for Frank Colvett Sr. I don't think you ever would. Put them side by side. I don't know what senior looks like, but he's not junior. That's Frank Colvett. We're going to get into the news cruise. We'll do that next right here, the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News Update. It's back on Capitol Hill, the debate over proposed reparations to the descendants of slaves. The House Judiciary Subcommittee holding a hearing on the controversial proposal. Texas Democrat Sheila Jackson Lee.
I did not pick cotton. But I will say that those who picked cotton created the very basic wealth of this nation. For cotton was king. There was no other product.
Louisiana Republican Mike Johnson contends reparations for past misdeeds are illegal under federal law.
Racial set-asides and other entitlements are only constitutionally permissible to remedy the present effects of the government's own widespread and recent discrimination. And the federal government is not allowed to provide race-based remedies that are, quote, ageless in their reach into the past and timeless in their ability to affect the future, unquote.
Such a measure, even if it managed to garner a vote in the House, would face tough opposition in the Senate. CBS News Update, I'm Jim Chenevey.
At Amish Excellence, they specialize in custom-crafted solid hardwood furniture. Their furniture is made in the USA by Amish craftsmen with deeply held beliefs in integrity of workmanship and concern for lasting beauty, built to last for generations. They'll love working with you in choosing the perfect design to create your unique furniture. Amish Excellence, 3601 South Houston Levee Road. Exquisite furniture, reasonably priced, remarkably superb, and uniquely yours.
Appella is a nonprofit organization that is committed to the promotion of independence among their clients. Many seniors are not ready or do not need to move to an assisted living facility, but they need some help to continue living in their own homes. Appella's team of care specialists provide assistance with daily tasks that become difficult as our bodies age. Appella is locally operated and serves the North Mississippi area. Call them today at 662-429-3652 or visit appella.org.
If you're in need of a professional cleaning service that takes your business as seriously as you do, call Jan Pro Cleaning Systems today. They understand how important it is to establish and maintain a professional image. That's why they offer the Jan Pro Signature Clean and the Jan Pro Guarantee. From regular scheduled cleaning to the tough stuff like stripping and waxing, buffing, carpet extractions, and detail cleaning, Jan Pro does it all. Call today for a free, no-obligation quote. 901-683-4900. Insured and bonded for your protection. Jan Pro Cleaning Systems. Measurable cleaning, guaranteed results.
This is Clark Howard with a special rip-off alert warning for you. There's a new rule concerning full commission stockbrokers that makes it sound like they're actually looking out for you when they're not at all. The new rules involving stockbrokers allows them, under regulation best interest as it's called, to sell you all kinds of stuff that's in their best interest and not for you. You know, you may not realize when you go to a full commission stockbroker that they are not what's known as a fiduciary, a word meaning that they have to do what's best for you, put your interests first, always. Traditional stockbrokers can sell you stuff that they get big commissions from, get kickbacks from. They can be pushed by their stock brokerage to sell certain things that are good for them and not for you. Be wary and be aware of how it works.
Guess what? Right now is the perfect time to tackle those home projects you've been putting off. So come summertime, you can just sit back and relax. Home Advisor can help get you started. Home Advisor matches you to the right pro for the job in seconds. You can read reviews and even book appointments online. Home Advisor can help with any home project, big or small, painting, plumbing, even remodeling. Find a great pro now before the busy season hits. Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor.
Have you heard what President Trump said recently?
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too.
Now you can watch Newsmax TV and get the truth about Trump from Bill O'Reilly, Mike Reagan, Alan Dershowitz, Pat Buchanan, and more. Newsmax TV is America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in 70 million homes. Find Newsmax on DirecTV, Dish, Xfinity, Spectrum, Optimum, Fios, Uverse, and more systems. See Newsmax TV today. It's real news for real people.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake is on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube. Just go find Nation of Jake there on YouTube. And there I'll be. All right, we usually take a leisurely look at the headlines about this time each day. And we do this on the News Cruise. And that's right, a leisurely look at the headlines brought to you by our friends at Just Windows Home Services, 751-3934.
News. Exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. The News Cruise. Full of exciting news. The News take off your shoes.
All right, welcome aboard the News Cruise, brought to you by Just Windows Home Services. Not only do they clean windows and do it better than anyone else, they can also clean blinds, ceiling fans, chandeliers, anything hard to reach on the interior of your home. Just Windows can help you. And outside, they also do pressure washing. You got a patio out by that pool. You got a deck. You want to spend some time on it while the weather's pretty nice out. Got to get it cleaned off. When you A-B side by side, a dirty deck with a clean deck, patio, walkway, whatever it is like night and day. And then don't forget about the gutters. The gutters are a big problem this time of year. It gets wet, it gets hot, and all that stuff up in the gutters, well, that provides a place for mosquitoes to breed, and then you risk West Nile. And nobody wants West Nile, especially when you can avoid it with just a phone call to Just Windows Home Services. That's right. 751-3934. That's 751-3934. You tell them that you heard about Just Windows on the Nation of Jake. You'll get 20% off of your free estimate. Again, 751-3934. All right, the big news today on the News Cruise, the Memphis Grizzlies, where are they? The Memphis Grizzlies have traded guard Mike Conley to the Utah Jazz in exchange for Grayson Allen, Kyle Korver, and Jay Crowder, along with the 23rd pick in Thursday's draft and a future first-round pick, according to league sources. Mike Conley, the last of the core four. Talk about guys like Zebo and Marc Gasol, Tony Allen, and Mike Conley, the core four. Maybe, since we're under-statued in Memphis, we need to get a statue of all four of those guys, maybe together, right there outside the FedEx Forum. That's a good idea. Get Mike McCarthy, who did the Johnny Cash statue, to do a statue of the core four. That would be phenomenal. I would go have my photo taken with that statue. They should look into it. With regards to what the Grizzlies are getting back for Mike Conley, Grayson Allen, wasn't he the guy from Duke who tripped everybody? Yeah, he would go and he got in trouble for tripping other players. It became a thing. He got suspended, I believe. And he was like one of the top players on the Duke team a few years back. And Coach K had to sit him down and say, Grayson, stop tripping people. It's like talking to a 5-year-old. What are you doing? This is Division I college basketball, and you play for Duke, and you're out there tripping people. Somebody could get hurt, Grayson. From what I understand, he's been a solid citizen since joining the NBA. Kyle Korver is also on the list, three-point specialist. Kyle Korver's played for everybody. Kyle Korver's played for the Bulls and the Hawks and the Cavaliers and the Jazz. And he's kind of a one-dimensional guy, goes out and shoots three-pointers. I don't expect him to play for the Grizzlies. I expect him to be cut. And then Jay Crowder, who at one point was probably a solid player, but two guys past their prime, a young player, and then a couple of picks. This was all about getting Mike Conley Jr. off the books. Mike Conley, heavy on the books, big max contract or close to it. And so this was about moving him, getting ready for the future. And tomorrow night, the Grizzlies are expected to draft a kid named Ja Morant. And Ja Morant's supposed to be a pretty good little point guard, and he will be the leader of the team, I suppose. Or at least the one, right? I'm not a sportsman. Check it out, though. Conley, who has contributed a lot to the Memphis community, he tweeted his reaction to the trade. What more can I say about my city? You guys made me the man I am today. Memphis is home always. Time for another chapter. Excited to give all I have to the Jazz in the city of Utah. Hashtag let's get it. Hashtag God's plan. Hashtag take note. I think Mike Conley should take note that Utah is not a city. It's a state. In fairness to Mike Conley, he then tweeted, meant to say city of Salt Lake. He knows. He's a smart guy. He knows Utah is not a city. Whole city of Utah. Oh, wow. We are out. I spent the whole news cruise talking about Mike Conley. That's the big news of the day. A couple more things. The new CEO of the Memphis Zoo details his plans for what is already a fantastic zoo. Hopefully, those plans include bringing back the Mold-O-Rama machines. Those were fantastic. The Lemoyne Owen College president, Andrea Lewis Miller, she will not return as president. Her contract is up on September 1st. They gave her a no-confidence vote in June of 2017 when nearly all the college's 51 full-time faculty members said they were dissatisfied with her leadership. They said that she had unfair hiring and firing methods, and then also she plagiarized a speech from Joel Osteen. We've got a lot of other stuff. I guess some of this stuff will have to wait until tomorrow. I was actually going to ask Earl, squirrel or shark? That was the question I had for Earl. And since Earl rhymes with squirrel, we'll talk about the attack squirrel that was high on meth. And we'll do that next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
KWAM, The Voice, salutes our Mid-South seniors and a life well lived. Tune in to the Earl Farrell for Memphis show every Monday at 4 p.m. as we hear the inspiring stories from local seniors. We'll hear from Jake Shore, who at 78 still goes to work every day and heads up an annual Thanksgiving and Christmas Feed the Needy. We'll talk with Glenda Mace, who just turned 80 and leads a weekly yoga class for seniors, plus is a founder of Cloud9 Theater Company. And we'll talk with Leo Raymer, who is an active 91-year-old that when he was 66 sailed around the world by himself. Inspiring stories from the Mid-South seniors, Mondays at 4 all month long right here on The Voice, KWAM.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lynn Doyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floral arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lynn Doyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
ATC Fitness would like to announce their new partnership with Silver Sneakers. That's right, ATC Fitness now accepts Silver Sneakers members. ATC Fitness is your local, family-owned 24-hour gym. Get started on the right track with their easy-to-follow instructions and demonstrations. Remember, if you are a Silver Sneakers member, come to any ATC Fitness throughout the Mid-South. Check them out online at atcfitness.com to find the nearest location to you.
Live your later years like you're on a fabulous vacation at the Robinwood Retirement Community Bartlett. If you are over 55, come and find out about an all-inclusive resort-style living. Month-to-month rent, meals, paid utilities, free cable, phone, and internet are included. Freedom dining, weekly housekeeping, and fitness center are just a few of the amenities offered. Elegant floor plans include full kitchens. Robinwood is the perfect choice for your luxury retirement living. Call 901-381-8949 to find the perfect place for you.
Miracles are happening in genetic testing and disease screening. As they say, knowledge is power, and Momentum Community Care offers you a chance to get early detection of cancers you may be genetically inclined to, and help develop a preventative treatment plan if needed. It's called CGX and PGX screening. The best news is that it's fully covered by Original Medicare Part B and most insurances. Call Jason Abbott at Momentum Community Care now for more information at 901-218-4425.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. streaming live on YouTube for a few minutes more. Keep a lookout for the 2-minute show. And I'll take this show. I'll take the best 2 minutes if I can find that much. And I will post it up there on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. So make sure and look out for the Nation of Jake 2-minute show. In addition to the Nation of Jake podcast, you can subscribe not just to the YouTube channel, but also the Nation of Jake podcast on iTunes. So a ton of ways to listen to the program. All right, as we wrap things up and get you set for the Earl Farrell show. Hey, Earl, I was going to give you a choice: shark or squirrel. What do you think?
I know the squirrel story is depressing. I want to go with the shark.
You want to go with the shark?
Yeah.
All right. Well, check this out, man. You picked the wrong one.
Okay.
We're going with the squirrel. The shark stuff. The shark stuff is interesting. All right. There's a lot more great white sightings up in like New Jersey and in New England, like Cape Cod. They've got a problem. It's like right out of Jaws.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite films of all time is Jaws. All right. 1975 when Jaws came out. That truly changed the way people looked at sharks and going in the water.
Going to the beach.
In fact, Peter Benchley, he says he wishes he never wrote Jaws because it demonized sharks so much, and people are scared and they kill them. So it's been pretty awful. We'll save the sharks for tomorrow because it's a little bit more involved with what's going on, because it is straight out of July 4th, Amity Island. You know, the mayor should have called off the 4th of July, and he would have saved Alex Kintner's life. All right, but this story about this attack squirrel, have you ever trained squirrels? Earl Squirrel?
I have a method.
You have a method of training squirrels? Does your method include feeding them meth?
No.
So your method is methless.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say that.
Authorities arrested a man and are searching for another after they found methamphetamine, drug paraphernalia, body armor, and an attack squirrel during a search. Limestone County, Alabama County Sheriff's Office said Ronnie Reynolds, old Ronnie, 37 years old, was arrested during the search. They added Mickey Paulk, 35, who was wanted by investigators after he allegedly fed a squirrel meth to keep it aggressive. An attack squirrel. They received the tip about the attack squirrel being fed meth, and then they went and they found the meth and the drug paraphernalia and the body armor. I guess my question is, keeping an attack squirrel, how can you be sure it's not going to attack you?
Well, you're not. He had it in a cage.
Right, he had it in a cage.
They just like watching him go nuts in the cage. I saw the video. You get up close to the camera, and he's just like lunging at the camera.
So they were just abusing the squirrel.
Yeah.
They weren't actually using it as an attack squirrel. No. Then why would they call it that?
And get this, the authorities, after they get the squirrel, they examine it, they said there wasn't any way they could really test it for meth. So they just took it out in the woods and turned it loose. Now you got a meth head squirrel getting ready to detox himself, because you can eat a bunch of acorns, but it ain't going to be like meth to that guy.
And then somebody might go out there squirrel hunting, and they shoot the meth squirrel.
Eat the meat.
They cook up the squirrel and put it on a stick, and then boom, they get high, and they go to work, and they get popped for a random drug test. It comes up for meth.
Crazy squirrel.
Say, no, all I did was eat a squirrel. Maybe the squirrel did meth. And yeah, right.
Listen, me, I ate squirrely meat.
Say, yeah, right, the meth squirrel, whatever. Then they read this story like, oh my God. Like James was telling the truth. He ate the meth squirrel.
And I think they've determined now that it's this guy's girlfriend who actually fed the squirrel the meth, but he got caught with the squirrel and the meth and the body armor and the guns.
I guess it's easier to feed a squirrel meth than teaching them how to smoke it. Now, can you imagine trying to teach a squirrel how to smoke? I mean, smoke anything.
Yeah.
Cigarettes.
That'd be tough.
If you could do that, then you could take that squirrel on tour.
Think it'd be better than a dancing chicken?
Dancing chicken, 6-foot man-eating chicken, meth-smoking squirrels. It reminds me of my sideshow. I was going to come up with my own sideshow, and it was like, the man of average height, the bearded man, Jojo, the dog-faced dog, all these unimpressive circus freaks. It's like it was the same guy.
An average guy.
Right, yeah. Show. Well, the bearded man, the man of average height, and the man of average strength were all the same guy. It was just kind of like a discount kind of deal. All right, there you have it. That's all I got for today. Earl's up next. I'll be back tomorrow at 1. So long. Thanks for all the meth. Fish.
CBS News at the top of every hour and the most local talk in the Mid-South. This is KWAM Memphis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans.
I'm Jim Sheneby. The debate over proposed slavery reparations has been rekindled on Capitol Hill. A House Judiciary Subcommittee hearing testified